All right. Next trade, Captain Crunch. Back involved here, receiving Alexander Barabanov in a 14th, my 14th, from the Trash Man. Visiting the Trash Man, right? Dumpster diving. Gives up Ethan Bear in an 11th. Very valuable 11th. That's Kyle's 11th. That's probably going to be more like a 10th. Neil, what do you think of this trade?
Head scratcher. Isn't Barabanov, wasn't he on the waiver wire not too
He
long
He
was.
is
ago?
right now.
So again, I just don't get I don't get it. Especially for an 11th. Like, I don't know.
San Jose had a busy schedule.
Yeah, I
That's about
understand
it.
that.
This was
I
Sunday,
understand that.
though. This was Sunday.
True.
Well,
This
maybe
was
maybe he was forecasting for the next week, but it just again doesn't make sense. Like why give an 11 for a guy that's on the waiver wire that you can probably pick up something similar for? You know what I mean? Like
he
I don't
did
get it.
this. He did this to try and get that game in yesterday and hope that he would catch him. Because this was Nick picked him up because he offered, hey, I'm not using my ad drop, but I'll move whoever you want. I'll pick up whoever you want. And it's like a free ad drop for you, right?
Yeah.
So he sold his ad drop.
Well, good on Nick.
Yeah.
I
I
just
don't
don't
understand
get.
why Domo is like so set. This is the guy I need who's gonna win me the week.
Yeah,
It's not worth an
and
11.
he ended up losing the week and lost in the 11th, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
3 pick exchange there. Like, and
Yeah.
really, you look at it this way. Cherry has the best pick in the 11th round, so it's like a 10th. I have the worst pick in the fourth. It's like a 15th.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
big spread for
Well,
waiver wire
good
trash.
good on Nick. Good on Nick. But I don't know. That's pretty much all I can say.
In all fairness to Nick, he's like, who did you want? I'll pick them up. That's who Domo picked.
Fair.
Oh, okay.
He's like, this is who I want you to pick up. He picked them up and traded them. Corey, what do you think of it?
That's rough. I don't understand it. That's all. I don't got much to say.
You know, he's watching. He's just laughing maniacally at the moon. You know, he's just no one knows what Domo's thinking. But no, good move on Nick. Like, good for you. You got three, essentially almost a 4-round pick here, pick difference. So good on you for trash man delivery. You're gonna see Ethan Bear will be moved again later. He just recycles them, right? This is the flurry that started this morning. This was before the couple teams just went out and said, these are my keepers, everyone else is for sale, and trades just started happening. Cherry Pickin' Daddy received Casey Middlestat, Craig Anderson, 2 8th rounders. Captain Crunch receives Zach McEwen, Hampus Lindholm, a 15 and a 16. Let's start with you, Corey, because I know you were very vocal about one of the players involved in here today in the chat. Let's start with you.
Yeah, I don't understand it. That's a large, two large pick gaps, 2 8th round picks. I know like Lindholm's had a pretty good stretch, but he's slowed down ever since McAvoy's been back and he's seen less big minutes. McEwen's like having a great start of the year, I'd say, but he's been on and off the waiver wire. So like, I don't know what you're paying for there, but like Craig Anderson, like he's trying to sell him and then he's just dropping him into a trade. Like I don't get it. I think it's a huge overpayment. I got nothing else to say.
What do you think, Neil?
I echo the same sentiments, and again, I go back to earlier: is why are you selling off your high assets for these guys are not even keepers. I mean, you're kind of screwed yourself in the year for auto drafting. Okay, not fault of your own. And now you're picking up these guys to try to win weeks, and they're not winning you weeks. And now you're screwing your draft for next year. Like I feel like you're going to be in the same boat again next year. So I don't know.
I think he paid a price for Lindholm his overall stats. That's not how he's playing right now. Like he had like a lot of his points came in the first like 10, 15 games of the season, right? And I'm not saying he's not producing still. He is, but he's slowed down. But he's looking at that overall stats and not his recent games. Like, what's the trend? And that's where I think he hurt himself. He paid for start of the season Lindholm and not current Lindholm. I thought you nailed it on the head today when you talked about when McAvoy came back. Exactly what happened. His minutes got cut. He's still useful. I don't know if I'd pay an eighth for him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like an eighth would be like for like a Ekblad or a McAvoy or a Sergachev or something to that extent. Hampus Lindholm.
Are you gonna get Nick all riled up here, talking about how Ekblad's only worth a eighth when everyone's like, "Oh, Dahlin's worth a 6," but Ekblad, who
I didn't say he was worth an 8. I said that's where I would, venture. Like if I was going to give an 8, that would be my starting offer.
So. Yeah. We're gonna start stuff now. I just don't get it. I just don't get it from Domo. I'm done worrying about what his strategy is. As long as he still loses, like I'm happy. I would love to see him lose and not make the playoffs and give up the lottery pick after the trade that we're gonna talk about in a bit. One trade to talk about before that, the trash man back at it, connecting with Cherry Pickin' Daddy here. So the guy who has all the trash, he's actually buying. Trash man's buying. He picks up Jason Zucker and an 11th for Miles Wood and a 9th from Cherry Pickin' Daddy. Neil, why don't you tell me about this one?
So Kyle's gaining what the 9th and Mike Wood?
No, Kyle's getting Wood in the 9th, yeah.
Okay. And then Nick's getting Jason Zucker and an 11th.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. What has Jason Zucker done? Has he been playing well this year?
Put up a lot of hits, for sure.
18 points so far.
18 points, about 83 hits, something like that?
65 hits.
Hits, like...
58 shots. Plays the power play. Not too much
grit so
far, but yeah, he's looking pretty good. I think it's a pretty good trade for Nick.
Yeah, it's not a bad trade. I mean, a 9th. I mean, Nick's been collecting picks left, right, and center, so I guess he could kind of spare one here. But yeah, good on him for this. I guess it's a good trade for both.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, like good for Kyle. Get a pick upgrade. Nick, a guy he thinks he's gonna hold on to for longer to fill out his roster now for all the holes he's made. Not having to give up very much and getting only an 11th back. Like, who cares?
Yeah, it's not a big downgraded pick, right?
Yeah.
I like the move. I like what Nick did today. You can see other trades where he went shopping today. He accumulated all those pick upgrades, and then he started spending that currency. He's going to be in a couple more trades we're going to talk about. But I know this is the one that we wanted to talk about. This is I just don't understand it, but Cherry Pickin' Daddy receives Captain Crunch's 6th and 7th and his own 17th back in exchange for Domo's 7th, so he's getting his 7th back, and Kyle's 7th. Corey, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, the one I wanted to talk about was the Lindholm one for sure. This one here, I understand why you made your comments about him giving away that pick, because so far it's not even looking like he's going to be a playoff team. But he needs the ammo to keep going week after week right now. So he needs that 7th to keep moving back. But I don't agree with it. I can see his angle, but it's not something I would do.
Yeah, what do you think, Neil?
I'm confused. So 6th and the 17th for 2/7.
Yeah.
Why? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, and like the 2/7 and that big, like the discrepancy is the 17th. I don't even get why there's picks. There's no players. I don't know.
He's giving away his top pick,
Yeah.
Bedard sweepstake, and dropping that pick to a 7th, but also upgrading his 17th to a 7th. So now we can move 2/7 instead of just 1/6 to really try to keep his weeks going.
Yeah, it's still.
I don't like it. I think Kyle wins no matter what. This is a Kyle win. Good on you, Kyle. Good on you. That's a great move on you. But like, I don't understand it for Domo. I think it's a bad move. Kyle wins because he even said it today in the chat. He's like, "Oh no, it could be bad for me if Domo makes the playoffs." Oh, if Domo makes the playoffs, you just have a late first round pick.
Exactly.
You still have a better asset. You can get a better player with that pick than Domo will get with either of those 7s.
It's true. A difference.
I don't really know why Kyle's worried about Domo making the playoffs because I don't see that happening. I mean,
yeah. He just wants to gather lottery picks, right? That's all.
No disrespect. I don't see that happening.
So. Disrespect.
Yeah.
Kyle, great move by Kyle. He gets a second lottery pick. We all know he wants Bedard, right? Like now you have 2 shots at it, and who knows? And he has another 6, but I think it's Braden's. So I don't think that's unlikely to be a lottery pick.
Yeah, well, Kyle's gonna have to hope that he gets that number 1 lottery pick to get Bedard because
he needs it.
It's Nick's. It's the trash man's pick.
It's Nick's, yeah. Oh, he's only in 8th right now, right? So who knows? That could end up being a lottery pick. It's unlikely. Nick's probably making the playoffs, right? He's a strong keeper base. So yeah, but it's not impossible that he slides out and all of a sudden Kyle has 3 lottery picks, 3 in 8 chance. Ethan Bear on the move again. Very popular commodity here. Daltrey getting him and an 8th round pick, his own back from the trash man for Arturi Lehkonen and a 12th round. Neil, what do you think of this?
That's a pretty good trade for Nick. I mean, he's adding a quality player, and Lehkonen is playing on a very powerful Avalanche team. So Daltrey getting an 8th back in return for a guy that he's not really going to be using. So it's a good trade for both. It does bolster Nick's offense, but yeah, I think it's a good trade for both of them.
Yeah, like he's having a great start to the year, Lehkonen. So it's just Nick getting another player that he wants to move forward with. So only having to pay an 8th is not bad because he's pretty stocked up. So and good on Daltrey. Maybe try to give a better pick or a worse pick than a 12th away, but
well, that became Nick's worst pick, I believe, at that point. So
well, no, Nick traded the 8th away, right?
But that 12 became his worst pick, Nick's.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying try to get something worse than a 12th away. Like try to give a bigger margin. Right? Like you're selling like right off the hop, like be a little bit more patient. But he also he has to do a lot of phone talk. So
I don't know how much more Lehkonen's worth though. I mean, maybe a later pick back, but I think an 8th is a great price for Lehkonen.
I think it's fair value.
Yeah, I think what Corey's trying to say is if you're selling, like try to get rid of your lowest.
Yeah, your worst picks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
now you have to make another trade to make that 12th to a 15th instead. That's it.
This is the thing. Everyone drafts, they trade all these high picks, they all want to get rid of those low picks. You need those low picks. You need a couple low picks because the fuck are you gonna draft a superstar team? Then when you gotta draft someone, you're like, you gotta drop someone. Who do I drop? If you need a couple late round picks, have guys who are expendable on your roster. where you don't feel guilty that you're giving a star player to someone. You want a couple jobbers in your lineup. That's all. I think, yeah. You get all
I
these
see your
teams,
point.
right? They have no one after a 10th round. Like, okay, that just means when you drop someone, like Braden dropped Oshie at the start of the year, guess what? Me who's sitting with 15th waiver wire, I'm going to grab him. Thank you for bolstering my team without any effort.
But with how much our league trades, though, you can move players before the season even starts, right? And then
Yeah,
have those gaps there.
you can cover
Right.
those. Like, it's good to have a couple late round picks, is what I'm saying, right? Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people are trading until you have 10s, and like, okay, you're going to have great players, but you're going to feel bad when you have to drop them.
Yeah, but if you trade them away and get some pick value to use later.
Well, you hope you can trade them away.
I mean, there's probably 50 trades before these seasons started this year.
It's not always
Jeez.
Yeah.
easy. At the start of the year, a lot of people aren't willing to deal, right?
I don't know. Last couple of years has shown differently. So let's see if that continues the trend.
I still think it's a great idea to have some lower picks. Like, not like me where I have all low picks. I'm saying like a couple in the end. So guys that you can take a chance on, and you're like, okay, if it works out, great. If not, all right, whatever. I'll pick up whoever's hot on the waiver wire and get free players.
Yeah.
But then you get people who draft too high, and then all of a sudden they're throwing good players in. We'll take those. We'll take those too, I guess, but I don't like that strategy if it's me. I'll try the beef. Back in action. Minutes later. Literally, like I think it was like a minute later it came in.
Yep.
I was just approving. Receives Jean-Gabriel Pajot and an 8, so another 8 from Captain Crunch. Family connection here for Toffoli and a 12. 8 for a 12 seemed to be the popular deal. This makes me believe that Daltrey was peddling that. So if you give me an 8, I'll give you a 12 back. What do you think, Neil?
That's not a bad trade for Daltrey. I mean, he gets an 8th. I don't know about Tyler Toffoli though. I had high hopes for him in the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's a slow start or still getting used to his new line mates or whatnot, but he hasn't been. I thought he'd be much better than what he is now. Maybe he might turn it around. I don't know, but I mean, it's good for Daltrey. For Domo, again, we're giving away these high picks for players that are, I don't know. So, but good on Daltrey, I guess.
What do you think, Corey?
I don't know. I offered an 8th for Toffoli about a week or two ago to Daltrey. Never heard a response back. I like his potential in Calgary. I think he's off to a slow start, so I was trying to. I know earlier he wasn't touchable, so I was trying to hopefully pay a little bit and get him. But I probably would have paid this or a bit more, maybe even a worse pick back. I think it wasn't bad for Domo. But well, I guess we'll see.
I think Calgary has 4 games this week. That's probably it. But
I'm not saying it's. I wasn't saying. I'm not saying it's bad. It's
Yeah.
just he
no,
hasn't been up to par. Like
I
I
agree
had
with
high
you.
hopes.
no one in
But
Calgary has been up to par really this season, right?
yeah,
Like they're all off to a slow start.
yeah.
So maybe it's a high reward if he picks it up, right? But yeah, an 8th is a fair amount for the potential. But with the way he's playing now, I probably would have tried to get him away with a little like less value going back to Daltrey for him.
I agree.
I pay for how they're playing, not like what they're gonna do. What are they doing now?
Sometimes.
It depends. It depends on like you might go after like a young player to build your core, right? So Daltrey active again minutes later. D'Angelo and a 10th going to him. Connected with the trash man again. This time for Savard and a 15. Corey, why don't you tell me about this one?
Ooh, I didn't know he was out. Just says he won't play the one game. But he's a D man that blocks a lot.
Blocks a lot.
74 blocks, like there's your value right there. And he has a little bit of everything else, so it's not a bad trade. They aren't only giving up a 10th. mean, the one thing about D-men that block a lot is they do get injured a lot too. So something you got to take into consideration. And D'Angelo, I know his name's been in our chat, but just because he's been the trash that's been wanting to be traded, so he's a solid D-man. But I like this trade for Daltrey.
I think D'Angelo is probably the guy who's been traded the most this season. We'll get the stat man on that after. Neil, what do you think of the trade?
I think it's a good trade for Nick. Good trade for Daltrey for getting a 10th out of it. I don't know about D'Angelo though. He's ever since going to Philly, I think that just is no bueno for him. But the 10th is a good pick
I think it's
upgrade
good
for
for
him.
anyone to go to Philly.
Yeah, yeah. Savard, yeah, he's a good defenseman. He does block a lot of shots, so I guess that'll help Nick in those categories, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
you're getting the
good,
guy
good
who one of the most dominant shot blockers in the league right now, right? So
yeah,
that'll help boost your grit. Yeah, I like it as well for Nick, and good on Daltrey for getting a 10th for him. I don't know if he's worth more than that. Most years he's found on our waiver wire, right? But he's having an exceptional season this year and getting in the way of pucks. So
yeah.
this one I want to talk about. I really like this trade. The trash man getting the red hot Anders Lee, red hot, 1 point in 5 games and an 8th. So he gets an 8th back, like the 8th that he moved in exchange for Matty Beniers and a 13th with Cherry Pickin' Daddy. Neil, what would start with you?
So this is a good trade for Kyle. You know, Benny is probably going to end up being a keeper. He's a young guy on an up and coming team. They seem to have turned it around this year. Anders Lee, he's kind of like he's a good player, but a very streaky guy. I don't know how he'll fit into Nick's team. Maybe he's going to be somebody he moves later on, but
That's what I think. He's going to recycle
I,
them.
I think that's the thing. But yeah, good on him for getting an 8th for the pick. I know he asked me about it because I was interested in him in the beginning of the year, but it just didn't fit in my plans to go with an 8th. But for Kyle, that's good. That's a good start for a keeper right there.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, good for both sides. Kyle obviously looking to have some options for keepers, and Nick isn't going to be going that route, and kind of wants probably more of a win now attitude, anyways. So yeah, that's good for both sides.
Yeah, I was talking to Kyle today, and I was telling him I was asking about his plan, like what he's doing, how his rebuild, right? We were talking about his draft, and he had mentioned like we had talked about like getting a core of young players, like is kind of like a great plan, right? And I mentioned to him that hey, like Nick put Beniers up for an 8th the other day in the chat, like. If you want to upgrade your keeper, spend a little, right? Even if you're rebuilding, you should be spending a little to improve your keeper base. And I thought like hey, like this would be a good spot for you to start. Like Beniers is gonna be a great player. He's already leading the rookie scoring race, right? 21 points so far this year. That's just the tip of the iceberg for him. There's a lot of potential there. So I thought this was a great move for Kyle. Because what does he have, right? He doesn't have a lot, and he's looking to get Bedard. Well, now if you get Bedard, they have Bedard and Beniers. That's a good 1-2 punch. Who are coming to the league at the same time, and your keepers are going to be the same age going through your whole keeper league dynasty, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's a big thing too. Is getting your players the same age group. So just like in the NHL, you want them to be in their prime at the same time so you can win, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
So I
trade
thought
for
that was
both,
great.
but good, better for Kyle though.
Yeah, and I definitely like the 8th in return. That's a fair price. Like you said, Nick wants to win now, probably. He's not keeping Beniers when he can get an asset for Beniers, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like the trade. This one, last trade. No, there's another one we won't talk about. It's not processed yet. That was not processed at the request of both GMs. They just want it in there, but Travis really needs that game this week, that one game. So yeah, one player for one game. If that's what you think is going to save you this week, Travis, I'll let you have that. But 7 on the ice receives Patrick Kane and an 11th. Traded to the Braden bye week. Travis receiving the Delchovic and a 7th. Corey, why don't you tell me about this one?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Mark was willing to get rid of Ned. I know he's not having a great start, but to give up a 7th as well to get Kane. Kane's not having a really good year. Depends where he gets traded, I think, that makes it if this is a win or not. If he's holds on to him, Kane's been moved a few times this year. So I think it's good on Travis to get Ned. I'd say I like him. I like Travis in this trade. I think he took it.
What do you think, Neil?
So I think Mark's banking, and well, we all know Kane's getting traded to a contender. That's for sure. The question is which contender is he getting traded to? So I think that's what Mark's banking on. Because I mean, who does Kane have in Chicago as line mates? Nobody.
Max Domi.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But depending on where he goes, you know he's gonna instantly, turn it on. So I think that's what Mark was banking on. I don't mind the trade for both of them. It's good for Travis. He gets the 1-2 punch with Husso and Ned. He's got 2 goalies that are injured right now. Maybe one of them he can potentially move. Reimer, but yeah. But yeah, I like to trade for both. It's a decent pick for both. It's nothing too major. So
I agree with everything he said. I think him having the Detroit duo is good for him. He needs goaltending help. Kane, his real value is where's he going to be by the end of the season, right? When it comes time to our playoffs, I would rather have a Patrick Kane who's on an Avalanche or Rangers team than Ned who's getting 1 in every 3 starts in Detroit.
Yeah.
Makes sense for Travis. He's going to have both. He's going to get 100% of Detroit starts now, right? So I like it. I like it for both. Let's talk about some matchups here. We have some good matchups this week. I'm excited for some of these. I'm really excited for this first one. Team Ramrod at 7-1 in first place, taking on the Braden bye week. Again, seems like I just got over that. Sitting at 4-4 here in 10th place. Neil, why don't we start with you? Who do you got?
Unfortunately, I got to go with Team Ramrod.
I know that hurts you. That hurts you.
It does. It does. It pains me. But I mean, yeah, I got to go with Team Ramrod on this one. You just got the better team. I mean, I just played Travis. He's got a good team. Hopefully, these guys can show up. But I feel you got more of the edge, and your goaltending's like far superior than his. So Team Ramrod, it is.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. Your team has been proven to have been doing well, and his team's kind of changed in a little bit. So I'm not really sure how they're going to perform. I'm just going to give it to you.
I'm going to agree. Team Ramrod all the way. I just think my team's better. I'm a little worried because Kemper and Anderson are out right now. So I'm running Quick and Kakinen. But I've seen how his goalie's been performing. Binnington did me a big favor tonight, getting lit up. It was good. So Ramrod all the way. Battle of the basement here. Cherry Pickin' Daddy looking for his first win since at 0-8-0. Taking on Doll Try the Beef at 1-7. Battle of the Titans for sure. Corey, who you got?
gonna give the edge to Daltrey. I know it's 11-0, but I think his team's he's just traded a lot of players away too. But so is Kyle every week. So yeah, I'll give it to Daltrey. It's a rough one here. You never know what you're gonna get.
Fair. What do you think, Neil? Is this
I
sweet?
am actually going to give Cherry Pickin' Daddy his first win.
Ooh.
I'm just looked at both teams, and yes, they're both trading, but for what Kyle has versus what Daltrey has, I'm leaning towards Kyle. As much as I don't want Kyle to win, because I'd like to see him going undefeated the whole season. I'm actually
to
gonna.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I actually think he's gonna pull out the win this week.
You were gonna say, you said you're gonna give the win to your first win to Kyle. So I'm like, he sounded bad, like you're gonna lose to him. And then I look and you play him next week.
Yeah, no. When I play him next week, he's gonna lose. But yeah, but I think he's gonna beat Daltrey this week.
There's a good
Depending on
chance.
depending on the trades that happen. So far, I'm looking and like his forwards are just a little bit better than what Daltrey has right now. I don't mind his goaltending. Montembeau is pretty all right at times, and Kochetkov, he's got Anderson now, so I don't know. I give the edge to Kyle.
That's fair. I'm gonna go with Daltrey, but it hurts that he lost McKinnon tonight. Who knows how long he's gonna be out. But I can't go with a guy who's 0-8. I don't care how much in favor the matchup is. Like if you don't have a single win, I just can't pick you. Like, sorry.
Prove me wrong.
Next matchup here we have Rasmus Dahlin fan club sitting at 5-3, taking on the 3-4-1 dude. Where's Makar? Neil, who you got here?
Oof. I'm going to give the edge to Derek. I know Dan's goalies have been playing pretty solid, but just forwards versus forwards, I think Derek has a slight edge. But he's also got the Boston duo, and they've been like lights out. So if they're playing at home, what are they? 14-0 at home?
They lost tonight at home.
Oh, did they? Okay, well,
Yeah.
14-1. So, yeah, I'm gonna give the edge to Derek, but it's a slight edge.
That's fair. What you got, Corey?
Yeah. With Murs back now, I don't know if he's gonna see the starts or not. But yeah, the Boston duo have been hot, so it's only Monday night. They're gonna have a couple more games. I'm gonna give this one to Derek as well. It's gonna be a good one.
I'm gonna go with Derek. I just think Derek has the better team. Yeah, and his record shows it, right? Until he starts to slip, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and I'm gonna go with Derek. Okay, Captain Crunch. The mighty Captain Crunch at 3-5 in 14th place, taking on the Jager Bombs. Will the losing streak continue? Will we go to 5-3-1? Who do you got here, Corey?
Got to go with Braden. Like, can't argue against the rankings here. It'd be interesting to see the Braden bye week continue, but I'm doubtful this week. I'm doubtful.
Well, out of spite, I'm gonna go with Captain Crunch.
Out of spite. That's the best reason to go for someone.
But it's just out of spite. I know Braden will win, but just out of spite because that profile picture still has not been changed to what it needs to be. I'm gonna go with Captain Crunch.
I hope he watches this one. I hope he hears you call him out. He knows you're going to be the guest tonight, so he might watch it.
I'm going to text him regardless and let him know. I hope he loses and change your profile pic.
At least he'll get the message that he knows he has to change that pick.
Yeah. Oh,
You
he
gotta
knows.
embrace the cog.
That's right.
I'm gonna go with Braden. I think Braden's gonna win. I have no faith in Domo. I'm sorry, Domo, but I know you watch this. But I just don't get your strategy. And I don't think it's worked for you in the past. I don't think it's working for you this season. Like you need to shake something up. You need to actually build a keeper base and improve your team. Like for the regular and not just pick up who the flavor of the week is. But he has the assets to do it. That's the worst part. He's just cycling through them though.
Well, does he have the assets? Because he's given a
No.
lot of them away.
He gave
Oh,
3/8
yeah.
up this week, so
He's what? Sorry.
he gave up 3/8.
Well, there you go. So
That's
We'll see what he
lucky he got.
does.